Are we
Hello,
live or?
everybody. Dennis Young here, Rene Van Commenee. I hope I have it right. And
Yes,
all the way from the Netherlands. And
exactly.
as you know, I'm based in New Jersey, weird New Jersey back here.
Uh-huh.
And so anyway, and Rennie, thank you for coming on. And let's hear about your early days of music and how you're a visual artist, you're a musician, composer.
Hmm.
I see by listening to your music, it's very complex.
Oh, yes. It's not easy music.
No, but it's good.
No. But you heard my Mr. Averell albums as well.
I heard the new one, "Keep Your Lane," Mr. Averill, and I love
Yes.
Virus too. Virus is really good.
Okay. Oh, yeah. That's only
Yes,
on Bandcamp. That's only on
right,
Bandcamp.
yes. So let's hear about when you started. What instrument were you first interested in
Well,
playing?
I the first instrument I really was really interested in was drums.
Okay,
But when I was a very young kid, I'm really talking about the age of 4 or about that. Memory sometimes lies, but it's around that time.
right.
I always put on a record of my parents, which of a gypsy violinist,
Oh,
and I started to play back it all the time. So I assumed I was playing a violin. I never played a violin, by
okay,
the way.
okay,
But I was very interested in music, and my parents bought a piano when I was about 4 or 5, I think.
hmm.
And when the teacher came home to check me out, he thought I was too young, too little, because
Okay,
my fingers. So, but they had bought a piano, which was actually very funny. So they had this piano, they had this teacher, and this teacher didn't want to. Or he refused to teach me because I was too young.
okay,
So my brother came up, who is a few years older. He doesn't live anymore. Unfortunately, he died about 3 4 months ago.
oh, sorry to hear that.
But he took over, and until the last day of his life, he still was a keyboard and piano player.
Okay,
So
that's
it was a good choice to give him,
yeah.
because later on, this is a funny story. When I was a few years older, then, so I think about the age of 6, something like that, I was ready to take the piano lessons as well.
Oh,
So I did. So this
okay,
teacher taught me the piano like my brother, but he made one big mistake. He gave me exactly the same lessons in the same order as he had done with my brother, and I always heard my brother playing, and I was imitating him on the piano when he was not there.
oh,
So I
huh.
knew all the lessons, and it
Oh,
took
okay,
about 2 or 3 years be, when the scores became too difficult,
yeah.
and I couldn't read any note because I was assuming I was playing from the score, but I wasn't. I was playing by heart. But when it became too complex, it was quite difficult. So I made a mistake. I turned the page on the wrong moment, and
Oh,
he thought there's something wrong there. So he tested me out, and then he found out that I couldn't read any note, absolutely not, and he was angry. He threw the
oh
books
boy,
through the roll, and actually it was his fault, isn't it? It's a bad
yeah.
teacher, I think. So he didn't want to teach me anymore, so I stopped the piano, but I still wanted to do an instrument, and I chose for the drums. And luckily, I had parents who allowed that. So although they waited a few years before they bought me a drum kit,
Right.
because it was too expensive, and they thought, well, he quitted the piano after a few years, so he might quit drumming, but I never did. So I became a drummer.
So who were you influenced by? What were there any drummers that you can name?
Well, I think in the first place it were Phil Collins when he still was the drummer on Genesis when
Oh, yeah, some
Gabriel was
great
still there,
records. Right.
and Bill Bruford.
Oh, of course.
I was already a huge Yes fan on a very young age. I think about 12 years old. I was completely addicted to Yes when I heard them. And Bill Bruford became my big hero at that time. Later on, I became aware of jazz music, and I found it out that Joe Morello is a fantastic drummer.
Oh, yeah.
So I turned more to the jazz side later on. But still, you know, there are so many good prog drummers there.
Prog,
and
yes, for sure.
I still think that Phil Collins is used to be a great one as well.
I mean, his stuff with Brand X was incredible.
Amazing.
Yeah, I mean, Unorthodox Behavior and Moroccan Roll. I mean, just some great playing. I really like Michael Giles too. I mean, he was very. He didn't do enough, but what he did, you know, was just really incredible. So then, did you start playing in rock bands in high school?
Yes. I started a band with my brother, who developed as a very good keyboard player, and the synthesizers came up then. So he was able to buy a synthesizer. So we started a band, and we started with playing music from other bands in the first place. But we were not happy with that because we were so creative. So we wanted to make our own music. So after, I think within a year, we composed our own pieces. And we had several bands which had a very short life because, you know, people came and go. And we started, by the way, with a Dutch band. It would be interesting to know if you know it in the States and if you know it, which was called Alquin.
Our name rings a bell. Yeah, I might have known them.
I still love it. And they were a very nice and very good Dutch band. And we started to play their music. That was actually the very beginning of my band playing, I can say.
Were you always drawn? Go ahead.
But later on, it turned... We started a band with a singer-guitarist we met. And he was a huge Roxy Music fan. And actually, I still love Roxy Music, especially the first two records.
Oh, yeah. They're amazing. Right.
And he wrote a lot of songs. He was a singer-guitarist. He wrote loads of songs and texts, which was very welcome because we couldn't write text at all. So he arranged the music together with the three of us, and we started a band like that. And this became a more, you know, semi-professional band, which actually forced me. It's a bit of a Phil Collins story, actually, which is funny. When we had our first big concert, he left the band a few weeks before the concert.
Oh boy!
He was too nervous to be on the big stage, so he left the band. But we had this gig, so we had to do something, and then we decided that I would do the vocals because I already did the backing vocals, and I tried to combine it with drumming, but that's a special thing as well. You know, there's something extra which you don't learn in 2 weeks.
Right. Course.
So the more easy parts I did while drumming, and other parts I didn't play drums at all. We used rhythm boxes, which just came out, you know.
Right.
And we had a new guitarist. He came in the band just 2 weeks before the gig, and he came in with his own music, singing and playing guitar. So that relieved me from singing behind the kit as well. So we learned his music in a few weeks, and we did a concert.
Now,
So
what was the name of the group? What did you call yourself?
we had the Pinnacle.
Okay.
And later on, we went on with these guys, and another guy came in who was a synthesizer player. So we had two keyboardists, one guitarist, and I did the drums.
Okay.
And I shared vocals with the guitarist. And this band, because it was totally different from what we did before, we gave it a new band, and it was called Bastion, we say in Dutch or French.
And did you play? Go ahead.
Yeah, that was a nice band to go on with. So that took quite some years.
Now, what did you play? Like concert places, or just small halls? Where were your shows at?
Yeah, different clubs mainly,
Okay.
and but we also did a gig in a, how you call it, sports hall.
Okay.
You know, which was very nice. And I wrote a song about a guy who was, I don't remember the lyrics anymore, but it was about, there was something with a storm and rain inside. And the funny thing was that in the sports hall, there was also a swimming pool.
Oh, okay.
So in an instrumental part, I went to the swimming pool and threw, how you call it, a can of water just over me, and I came back on stage totally soaked, you know.
Oh, that's funny.
I was very theatrical, and I think that this was because of or influenced by Peter Gabriel.
Oh, I see.
I'm not sure, but I think so. You know, it might be unconscious, but I was very theatrical. And still I am. I like to do theatrical performances.
Yeah, I saw that in your bio that you do like theater work. And do you do work at theaters now? Do you do?
I did also theater work. Yes, I had one piece which was written by me and two friends of mine who are actors and theater writers, and we bought an old truck, which we rebuilt it as a driving theater.
Oh, that's great.
And 100 people audience could be in there. And we traveled in Europe with it for 3 years.
Wow, that's really neat.
And this was purely a theater piece. Yeah.
Did you record any of this? Is any of this recorded? Like,
yeah, there is
visually?
A very short. It was filmed, but it never. Nobody made an edit of it, so it's never appeared. But there is a short part of it is on YouTube, and this is quite a spectacular part because we used fire and guns and explosives and. Which was our thing, you know, we like this. And there is a very spectacular part of it is on YouTube.
Oh, now where'd you be able to do this at? Parking lots, or where did you get permission?
No, on festivals.
Festivals, okay.
Yeah,
got it.
What they
got it.
Mainly on what we call here street theater festivals.
Street fairs? Okay, we have a lot of those here. Street fairs.
Okay. So that's
where they have a band playing. Okay. Oh, okay. Well, that sounds neat because then you get a real street crowd, people from the city or a town, and then
it's fantastic.
You totally,
it's very nice.
You totally, and then you surprise everybody. Yeah, that must have been nice.
Yeah, and we have in Holland, we have a festival like this, which is going on for years already. It's called the Parade. And the thing is that you make, because it's a term in theater, you make parade by doing an act outside of your tent or whatever you have. We had our truck.
Right.
So we did a performance on the terrain to get people in, you know, make kind of promotion for your piece, which was very funny to do as well. Yeah.
Boy, that must have been something. I would have loved to have seen that. That would have been something. So you did your first soul record. Was it Out of Mind? Was that your first?
Yeah, Out of My Mind. Yeah.
First record.
I have it here.
Oh, there it is. Great cover.
Yeah, I
like that.
Yeah. Well, you can see, because this is there is live photos inside, because there is a live piece on the record
Oh,
as
there
well.
is.
You can
Okay.
see that I'm still doing very
Oh,
theatrical ways
oh
of
yeah.
performing.
Yeah, so you had lights and different, would you have costumes that you changed?
Costumes, yeah, everything, yeah. And we
Now,
had, I was playing on the Crossing Border Festival in The Hague,
okay.
and this was at the time that Van der Graaf Generator had a reunion just had and
Oh,
started
okay.
to go on. So
Okay.
we were booked on the same night. So Van der Graaf was there and I was there. So I could ask David to have a guest role on saxophones in my show.
Oh, that's great.
And that was the first time since a long time we played together on stage. So it was fantastic to do. And David is, I think he's theatrical as well, you know, he's a
Oh, yeah.
performer.
You
So
see,
it was fantastic to be in a kind of theatrical music show together.
yeah.
Very
I
nice.
mean,
Yeah.
he's such a lovely guy. I mean, it was such a great speaking with him. I mean, such a talent too. And
Yeah,
he's
absolutely.
and he's still
Absolutely.
playing. And it's just, not stopping. That's what's really and he
Yeah.
plays so good on your records.
Yeah,
I
he
mean,
is.
the
Absolutely.
flute and so that was after you met David. When did you finally decide he was going to guest on your records, or how did that come about?
Well, actually I started to guest on his show. That was the
Oh,
first
okay.
thing. Early 90s, I think. And I asked him to play on my birthday party.
Oh,
And he wanted to do that because it would be his first solo show in the Netherlands. So he came over, but he asked me to join him. And in the first place, I refused this, but he had two parts. So, a first part, then a break, and then a second part. And he proposed to do the second part together, which we did. And this was the first time we played together live. And it was mainly improvised because there was no rehearsal,
right.
And, there was an immediate click.
That's what's nice.
Yeah. So since then, we're good friends and we love playing together.
It sounds it. I mean, it sounds effortlessly how you guys connect. It's like you've always played together.
Oh, yeah. Well, I wish we would play together much more.
Yeah,
But
I'm sure.
it's very difficult nowadays to get gigs, especially,
Oh, I know.
since Brexit, it's also difficult. And, we're in different countries and there's a sea between us, which
Yeah,
doesn't make it easy and cheap,
no, and the climate of music these days is so different from
Yeah.
when we were playing or doing music. Now it's like it's very hard. There's not a lot of places to play, and it's
No,
hard for
it's very
bands.
difficult and expensive. And, you need you can't bring money. You need to
No.
make money as well,
Oh yeah. So you did this really very environment like a space kind of record, Virus. I really like that record.
Okay.
Very nice. It's very has a lot of spatial movements to it.
Yeah,
How'd you come up for that?
it's my I forgot about the piece, so it's nice you mentioning it.
Yeah, I've listened to it. It's really good.
I made it during the lockdowns. That's also the reason it's called Virus. And
Okay.
it's my electronic music composer site. Because when I was in this band with my brother and the singer came in with Roxy Music, I was very fond of Brian Eno.
Oh, okay.
And Brian Eno became a very essential part of my musical life because he, in the 70s, he released on his, I can't remember, Bizarre Records?
Okay.
I don't know anymore. He released, I think, 10 records with modern composers like John Cage, Michael Nyman, Kevin Bryce. I think even it was the first release of The Sinking of the Titanic of Kevin Bryce, which became quite popular later on. And that put me on the part of modern composing, which I thought was very interesting.
Yeah.
And in the early 80s, I built my first studio, recording studio, but it became more a composer studio.
Got it.
And when I was a bit fed up with bands, I played in many, many bands. But there came a point I didn't want to play anymore with bands. So I stopped playing bands. I stopped playing the drums for quite a while. And I became a composer of electronic music, tape music.
Right.
And that brought me on the way of music technology. And that brought me to a new study in the university in Utrecht, which was music technology. And I became a teacher there.
Oh, fantastic.
Which I did for 10 years. So I became, and I'm still like to do it, I compose electronic music. And Virus is one of those things I made.
Oh, interesting. Now, do you still have the synthesizers that you use, the analog?
Yeah, well, it's changing, when we were young, we made a big mistake. We had all these analog synthesizers. And then the digital synthesizers came on. I remember the first DX by Yamaha.
Oh, yeah.
And that was new. And we all thought, oh, we need this stuff. We need the digital synthesizers. So we sold the analog ones.
I understand that.
A few bucks,
That's what I did. I had a monopoly. And I love that synthesizer, and I got it fixed, and I said, no, I don't want this anymore. I sold it for $900. Now it's worth $2,000.
Yeah, exactly.
I was like, why did I do it? I don't know. You think the modern, and they don't sound as good. I don't know.
I had Moog and ARP.
Oh, yeah.
And now I really want to have it back.
Yeah, I don't blame you.
It's a lot of music, but yeah, well, that's the way it goes.
Yeah,
I also had drum machines, which are now very popular. The Roland, I think it's the 707 or something, and I sold it also for a few bucks.
Well, I remember when the DMX was really big, the Oberheim DMX, the drum machine. That was the big one used.
Yeah.
So time moves on, and I just don't like the sound of some of these digital synthesizers. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. They don't have a warmth to it that you get from those analog, oscillators. I don't know what they're doing, but I guess you got to spend the big money for the real fancy ones that still have that great sound.
That's why I like sampling a lot. And I became specialized in sampling when it just started. And I still use it, and I combine it, and there are now ways to integrate digital sound with samples as an origin, and you can make fantastic sounds. And that's actually what I did, for instance, on Virus.
Oh, okay. Well, let's talk about this new record, Keep Your Lane, because I've been listening to it, and it's really good. And you have Dory Jackson on it, Colin Edwin and David, and it was really well done.
Well, thank you. We like it as well. We're happy with the album.
Did you put it out on vinyl or CD, or is it just digital?
No, it's on CD. I have it behind me.
I have to buy a CD copy.
And actually, people should buy the original, the CD, because then you have also the original artwork, which I still think, because we made a huge poster inside.
Oh, very neat. I like that.
With a lot of photographs.
Oh, I like that.
And
great
artwork,
pictures.
Which I did. But what's very interesting about it to have it on CD is that David, mainly David, wrote all the background information of each track.
Oh.
And I think that's very interesting to read. So it's, you know, you really have something. So everybody should buy. Oh, my phone is still on. Sorry.
That's okay.
Everybody should buy the CD, because then you have the real package. The other thing is, and that's the way I work always, that's also with my two Mr. Averell albums, and we did it also with Keep Your Lane. If you download, you know, the whole download thing is you download tracks.
Right.
But I compose an album as an album with a start and an end. And even the pauses between the tracks are composed. So this needs no pause. This one needs 5 seconds, you know. I really compose it. And so on my album Gridlock, I don't know if you heard it.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yep.
There are even breaks with sound, you know. So sound effects, sound design in the breaks, which connect to the next song. That's what I like from albums, and listening to an album from the start till the end.
Right, it's done by you, as far as each track has a meaning to the next track. I don't know.
Exactly.
In modern music now, I guess there's bands that just put tracks up, which I don't like at all. I like it when an album is actually thought out. You know, exactly. The tracks, everything is. Okay, that song next goes with that till you get to the end. So that is well done.
I always work this way, but you know, it is very difficult nowadays to sell CDs.
Oh, very difficult.
So you know, we have to deal with downloading, but the risk is that people just take their favorite track and that's it. While it's more interesting to listen to the whole album in once, you know.
Right. So
it's almost because I'm thinking about the new Mr. Averell album as well, but I am still in doubt if I should release an album, because you hardly sell them anymore. Only on gigs, you know, concerts you sell.
Exactly, right. Yeah. I mean, that's the only way these days. But you know, David has a following, so you know they love him from Van de Graaf, and they've got a big following, Van de Graaf Generator, and that helps you.
Absolutely,
for sure.
Yeah.
I just bought the 20-disc Charisma version. You know, all the records from that era, and it's thanks to David. I didn't know about it, and it's really phenomenal.
That's the box,
right? The box set. Yeah. So
we have one song on the album, eh?
Oh, Pioneer Oversea.
Yeah, Pioneers.
Oh, that's a great song.
So that's originally was on an album from the Graaf Generator, and we rearranged it without vocals, so it's an instrumental, and the saxophone is following the lines of Hamill's singing.
Oh, okay. And that is a great song.
I like the song very much. It's
was ahead of its time. I think, you know, that's even before the early Genesis stuff too. I think that was like 70 or something.
Yeah, I think this song is from the 1917. 17. Yeah.
Wow.
Not 17. No.
But it's but that but that really came together really well.
Yeah, well, it was quite heavy to do it, because it was really difficult. David asked me if I wanted to do that, and I was very happy to do it. And we decided that if we do a rearranged version, you know, I didn't want to listen to the original track too much. We had to listen to it because the timings are very, very difficult. Because it's time changes.
Right, there's a lot of changes in that.
Is changing all the time. So we had to sort it out. So we had to listen a few times, and then we put it away because we didn't want to be influenced by the original. And we made this whole new arrangement. And luckily, this is, by the way, also a nice story. I did a lot of bass playing on the whole album because we play most of it together. So David's not only playing the wind instruments, he's also playing keyboards. I do keyboards, I play piano. So we do it all together with the two of us. And I did the bass playing on Pioneers. But I thought, this is such a good track. I'm not a bass player. We should ask a real good bass player to do the bass track. So we were talking about it. David agreed with it. And then we came on Colin Edwin, who used to be in Porcupine Tree.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And I love him. So I was very happy that he was very happy to do it.
See, so that's good.
He's doing the bass on Pioneers.
Okay.
And it was so nice working with him that we even worked out a song with the three of us, which I came with a sketch for a song, and then we arranged it with the three of us, so Colin and David and me. Which is very nice, yeah. And this is, by the way, an homage to Nick Potter, the bass player from the
great bass player, right?
So the track is called Pinball Potter, and this is because I was good friends with Nick, and we both loved pinball. So that's the reason we call it Pinball Potter, which was also because we didn't have the title yet. And when Dory heard the track, she thought it was like a pinball machine, the music. So this gave the idea of Pinball Potter. Yeah.
Her records really,
the thing with Pioneers was when we asked Colin to do the bass playing on Pioneers. There is a kind of jazz intersection in the composition,
right?
And I played acoustic bass there, and I was very proud playing this acoustic bass because I thought it was wonderful. But when we asked Colin, I thought we can't ask him doing everything on the track except the jazz part, because that would be silly. So we decided not to send him any bass tracks, so he was completely free and open to have his input, and also for the jazz part. So he did it in the end, and I had to throw my part away, which was good because he's a much better bass player than I am. It was a bit painful, I would say, because I was a bit proud on that part.
Now, did you? Where can we get the record? Is it on Amazon or most?
Everywhere. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. Okay.
Yeah. All shops, all internet shops, but also there is a very good distribution. It's done by Talking Elephant Records.
Oh yeah, I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, and they have a very good distribution network. So you can, in principle, you can buy it in every record shop. And they probably have it not in stock, but they must be able to have it.
Yeah, they've got a lot of.
Every internet shop will have it. It's no problem.
They have a lot of great records on there. Boy, that's a great. I've been on their Bandcamp site. It's a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, it's Malcolm is a very nice guy. So it's also, not every record company is nice to work with, but I can say he's very nice to work with. So I'm very, very happy it's on their label. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's what's nice. And then you have somebody really enthusiastic about the music. It's just not, in the business, just doing it for business. And nowadays, I think that's how it's got to go. You have to deal with labels where they really like the artists and doing it, for the love of music these days. I don't know who's making much money these days in music,
Well, no, nobody. I think.
No.
No, you really have to do a touring. That's probably the only way to get some money, and especially to sell records, because
Yeah.
that's the place to do it. There was also on the Crossing Border Festival, I went to the merchandise stand together with David. So we signed a lot of CDs there.
Oh,
so
okay.
I could sell my Mr. Unveil CD, but we also had this Batteries Included, which is a live CD with recordings from the early 90s of the two of us.
Oh, okay.
And it is sold out.
Okay.
But it's on Bandcamp.
I'm going to try to get that. Oh, yeah. I got to pick that up.
It's a live album.
Okay.
So then I have to tell you, because it's also on that. Did you notice that we have this Matchbox release?
Oh yeah, what's that?
I show you. It's everybody watching this, you should buy this. You can buy it on my Bandcamp page.
Okay.
It is a box, and in the padded box is a little card which is signed by both of us. The whole package is numbered as well, because it's a limited edition. And inside you find a matchbox.
Okay.
A real matchbox.
Oh, how about that?
And this has artwork done by me. So it has a 22-page booklet, very small, like a Liparello, they call it.
That's neat. That's a great idea.
And that's all drawings which I did. And it is actually a single, which is called Papoose.
Okay.
And the lyrics of Papoose are written by me and Judge Smith. And all music is also in the box on a little USB stick.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Oh, that's great.
But the nice thing is that not only the single Papoose we wrote is on the stick,
right?
But it's there in more versions. There's also an instrumental version. There are also ringtones, and this album, the live album, Batteries Included,
right,
is on the USB stick as well in a remaster MP3 version. So it's a quite nice.
That is a great package. Yeah. That is very unique.
It's a unique package.
I've never seen anybody do that. That is really great. Now, how much is that? What's the cost of that? Is it?
It's 25 euros.
Okay, that's not bad at all. I'm going to pick one up.
Absolutely, you have a unique package, and the USB stick is full of material. A lot of things to read. There's a whole collection of photos, live photos from David, live photos from me. Also live pictures from our duo concerts. It's full of material. It's really something. It's really something to have, you know.
Yeah, thank you for showing this. Now, can everybody get this on the Bandcamp page? Is that?
Yeah, on my Bandcamp, it's.
I'm going to order that for sure.
Yeah.
I definitely want that. That's a unique. That's almost like a personal gift to people, you know, for being a fan and you know, making the effort to like your music. But that's something that you would keep, because it's I've never seen anything like that.
People who bought it they love it. It's a
yeah. So what are you planning on doing? Are you going to plan some more music with David this year, or are you going to do solo music? What's
well, I just started with some guys, a new band in Holland, which just started because I do a lot of drumming nowadays. I'm really a drummer again.
Okay.
I also play a lot of percussion. So I'm also in a duo with a pianist. We did some shows, and in May we do some shows again, which I play also self-builded percussion instruments, and a very, very nice show. And I play the Egyptian tambourine, the rig.
Oh, okay.
which is a kind of specialty for me as well. I like it a lot, and I have a unique one, which is Hossam Ramzi one. Hossam Ramzi was a very good friend of mine, and he is an Egyptian percussionist who played on many albums of Peter Gabriel. He played on Plant and Page, you know, this Kashmir piece, which he also did the arrangements for the whole Egyptian ensemble, and he toured with them. He's on many, many, many albums. He died a couple of years ago. He started to make his own signature tambourines, and I have the prototype. He gave it to me as a present, and since he died, unfortunately, much too early, very young, it's actually the only one still existing, and I own it, so I'm very proud having this special tambourine. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure every time you play it, you must think of him and feel the vibe from that.
Yeah,
the vibe from that, his energy still radiates through that instrument.
Yeah,
that is great.
He was an amazing percussionist, amazing, absolutely amazing. And it's not for nothing that he plays on many Peter Gabriel albums and on Plant and Page.
I have to look him up.
Whole list. It's an enormous list. He played with Herbie Hancock. It's probably on YouTube. You should check it out. Hossam Ramzi and Herbie Hancock. It's amazing, absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, that you're very lucky to be involved with him, and you continue to expand with new music. And so this has been a great interview. I want to thank you for doing this, and everybody knows more about your music, and hopefully they'll go out and buy these records. I'm sure I'm going to buy that.
We need
I will make sure I promote your.
I think this is, the Mr. Averell Gridlock is quite interesting for a lot of people, because I have a lot of guests on it.
Oh, so do you? Like who?
Well, Hugh Benton from Van der Graaf is playing.
Oh, really?
David is playing. Lena Lovitz is playing. Judge Smith is playing. But also a good friend of mine, Mike Carson, who was the pianist of David Bowie since 72.
Oh, yeah, right. I know him. Wow,
and they're all on the album. Yeah.
How did you get all these famous people to come on the record?
Well, we're friends. So if I make my call and I need some special part in when you need a special signature music musician, because we're friends, I can call them and ask if they want to be on my records and play a part.
That is great.
With Mike Carson, I also composed a song. So there is a very nice piano piece on the album, which we composed together. And I should not forget John Ellis, because John Ellis is also on the album, and he's also on Keep Your Lane. He's a good friend, very nice guy, fantastic guy. And of course, we all know the great Judge Smith.
I did speak to Judge Smith too. That was a very good interview. Some good stories there.
I play on quite some of his albums.
Oh, okay.
And this album, which is very nice, the full English, we were a kind of unplugged band. I play the drums and percussion. John Ellis plays guitars, and Michael Ward Bergman plays fantastic accordion player. Plays accordion and organ. A very nice album. I
gotta check that one out. Yeah, there's so much good music. You've been involved with a lot of great music and artists too. I mean, if you get those kind of people to play on your records, it's really a quite an amazing thing. I mean,
I'm very proud of it. They want to do it. I'm very pleased.
Well, that is the number one thing. They want to do it. It's not like you're saying, well, I'm forcing these people, not forcing, but asking them, and they, I don't know, but they really want to play on music.
Yeah.
That's a big thing.
I'm very happy they like working with me. So And the end results, it sounds good. Also, the reviews always say that the CDs sound very nice. That's also with Keep Your Lane. They think it's well mixed, it's well mastered. And that's with my albums as well. But that's, I was a music production teacher. So
yeah, that's important
I know
part
a bit
of it.
about sound. Yeah.
That's important to get the sound right.
Yeah.
With your record, you want to make sure you have the right mastering guy, it's mixed well, because then you're happy with it.
I have a very good mastering guy. That I never do it myself.
I'll have to get that name. I always have people that ask me about mastering who's good. So see, nowadays it doesn't matter where you're at, but it's easy in Europe, the mastering.
Yeah. It's a good friend of mine. I also work with him as a duo with electronic music performances.
Oh, okay.
And audio art. But he is very good in mastering. So he does all the Mr. Averell albums, and he did Keep Your Lane. He did Batteries Included. He is called Martijn Alsters.
Okay.
And he did all the albums.
Okay, he's listed on your record, right? He's on your records, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. He's the guy who gives the final touch. He is just
exactly.
It's very important.
It is. It's the most important touch, I think.
Yeah.
And I think, it makes a difference. And I think putting out vinyl these days is very expensive. So the CD route is probably more economical and easier probably to ship or get out there.
Yeah, that's the reason we have Keep Your Lane only on CD, because it's too expensive to have it on vinyl. Yeah. And, the people who buy it is just too small amount of people.
Right.
And if you have to send it out in the world.
That's what I'm saying. Shipping
are sending out all around the globe. That's very expensive.
Oh, shipping is ridiculous now. How expensive it is here in the States. Shipping something from here, a CD to Europe's at over $20.
Yeah.
Easy without your cheapest way. So you're better off that way. And plus, you have a distributor and a label that helps too, because they have the connections to everybody.
Yeah, and it's very difficult from England, because since Brexit, if they send a CD to Holland, the price you pay for taxes are almost the same as the amount you pay for the album itself. So you pay double the price.
Oh man, yeah, it's outrageous.
Ridiculous.
It is. So before we go, I'd like to ask you, what do you think the future of music is now with all this digital technology and AI and?
Well, I was a month ago. I was on a conference about AI, and I think we can't avoid it. It will be a thing.
Right.
It will be implemented. But I always think when the drum machine came, everybody thought that drummers would be unemployed.
Right. Exactly. No.
It became an instrument. So the drum machine became an instrument. Especially with creative people, I have to mention Peter Gabriel again, who is very, very keen using drum machines in combination with live drums.
Right.
So it became a thing on its own. And I think, in a while, it might take a while, but then it will develop as a new thing without making us artists unemployed. I don't
Right. Well, there's always going to be wanting for live music. People are always going to want to hear live music.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's never going to die. But I'm just wondering about the recording aspect of it. But you never know. You're right. It might just take a while to settle in, because every month there's a new something new coming out, and the technology is moving so fast.
It's going ridiculous fast.
It's
amazing. It's amazing.
Oh my gosh.
The problem now for us musicians is that the big companies, and we don't know what they do, because it's completely a closed thing. We can't look behind the developing of these things.
Right.
And they are grabbing our music and our singing voices and our lyrics from all over the internet to implement it in AI without paying us.
Well, that's a really big problem. Right.
So
That's
and it's, of course, it's very, very difficult to regulate this, because
right.
you know what's happening. You don't know what's happening.
Exactly. It's the nature of the beast these days, and we just got to figure out what's happening now and deal with it, I guess. So, Rene, thank you very much, and it's been a great talk here, and good luck going forward this year. Maybe we could catch up sometime again when you have some more new music out, and keep up the great playing and records. You're quite an artist there.
Okay, thank you very much for having me.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm glad we did it. So anyway,
Okay.
this
Thank you.
will be up soon, and we'll look for your music, everybody, and buy that Matchbox. I'm certainly going to buy
Exactly.
it. All
Buy
right.
the Matchbox.
Take care now, Rene. Thanks
Everybody
again.
wants to have a
Bye-bye.
Matchbox.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
There you
Thank
go.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. See ya. Bye-bye.
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 Dennis.